Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and I am going to do an experiment today. I have this little tin, I don't know, container that I have a whole bunch of ideas that I've been making a list of and keeping in my phone, but I don't look at it, and sometimes I get stuck for an idea, and so I'm pulling out one and doing it when I am stuck for a video. I have been absent actually for just a little while. I was traveling, and then I hurt my back, and then I had grandkids over, and it's just been busy. So I am going to hop in on this. This does not have a particular project that is tied to it, so I am just doing whatever colors I think will work. I haven't done this. It was just a thought that I had. So what I am making is an idea for a background page without having to use background paper, like pre-printed or a digital or whatever. And we're just going to see if this works. And the things that I have listed that you need is 3 different colors of ink, a light one, a medium tone, and then a darker tone. And then you'll need something. This is just a chip brush. It's pretty stiff. You could probably use something else. This is just what I'm going to attempt to use today. And then a stamp with an intricate design. And then a stencil that, I don't know, that you just think you'll like. You're going to be experimenting anyway, and you'll need something to stencil with your ink. So let me move all of these things out of the way. Let's see, I'm going to use this first, so I'll leave it there. This is last, so I'll put it way over here. And I need to tape my paper down so it's not wiggling and shifting all over the place on me. And I'm just going to use some washi tape. I'm just barely going to cover the corners because I can cut this down, and most of the time we end up cutting down our papers anyway. At least that's what I have noticed with me, and I have noticed with several others whose channels I watch. All right, so the first thing that I decided I would do is do a layer of dry brush in the lightest color. And the technique I'm going to use, I'm going to load up my brush just by doing that. And I'm not sure, I've done this with paint before. This is how I do a lot of the first layers on my paintings, like on canvas. And the way I do that is I take my paintbrush and I hold it way down here, not up here. I hold it way down here. I used to know what the name of that was, and I can't remember what it is. And I just make X's like this. And that is so faint that it can barely be seen. I may have to switch out for a slightly darker. Yep, I'm gonna have to switch out. The tea dye is too pale. So let's move on to Vintage Photo. We'll see if maybe that works, because it does usually seem to be a little darker. Yeah, there we go. And I hope that you can see that. What it's doing is just, it's kind of giving an aged look, but it's got a little bit of the brush, so it's got some interest in it. I'll see if I can put a close-up in right here. Keep reloading and reloading your brush until you are happy with how that looks. And it's just going to look like aged paper for this first step. But what I'm trying to do is cut down the white, but I don't just want to have a solid background. I want all 3 layers of this to have some interest. And I like the brush marks on here. It is very similar to what I do on my paintings, except for the paint tends to show a little bit better. But that's kind of what I wanted that background to be. So here's a close-up of that. And then the next thing was the stamp. And here is the stamp that I chose. It is Swirly Background JR1074, and it's from Stampabilities from 2009. So it's kind of old. It's not wanting to stick. I'm gonna have to glue that back down. And for this, I'm just gonna ink up my pad, and then I'm going to fill up the background with that. And so I'm just going to continue doing this, and I'll speed this up. All right, so that is filled up. Looks like a hot mess right now, and it's fine. Now the next step is to bring in your stencil. And I want to try and center this the best I can. And then I'm going to tape that down because I do not want it to wiggle. And then I've got my ground espresso. I'm going to load up my brush. I think this was a makeup brush. This is not one of them that came out after everybody started using the makeup brushes. And I'm just going to stencil right over all of that. Don't particularly enjoy stencils that have the parts that will flip up if you go the wrong direction. You have to be very careful. But some of my stencils are like that. This is a pack of stencils that I can't remember where I got. I will have to look it up because it was several of these designs. Very similar, almost like fleur-de-lis, giant fleur-de-lis, and mandalas. I'm not sure how you say that. I think it's mandala. And just kind of fractal images. All very pretty, and this is actually the first time I've used anything out of that set. If I can remember where I got it, I will link it below. Because I think it was a set of 12 stencils. And all of them are really pretty. See, that's one of them that moves, and so I got to be careful. And you want this layer to just be really dark, because you are trying to obliterate what's behind it. Last week on Saturday, I had my 5-year anniversary of being here on YouTube. And I am almost at 1,000 subscribers. I think I need like 11 subscribers, maybe 12. I can't remember. I know I'm really close to 1,000. And so that's kind of exciting for me, considering I thought that I might have 12, because I wasn't even sure that friends or family would be subscribing to me. Do have a little special thing going on when I hit 1,000, so keep watching for that. And if you're not a subscriber, you could subscribe and help me get there quicker. You don't have to, though. I don't ever tell anybody they have to subscribe. But I do appreciate it, because it just kind of makes you feel like what you're doing is something that people want to have in their life. Whoops. And being wanted as a part of somebody's life is one of the best feelings ever. All right, give it a final look over, make sure I didn't miss any spots that are supposed to be inked. All right, so now for the reveal. Ooh, ha 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 ha. Get this tape off. I should have left like a corner up, I think. I like that a lot. And I think that I want to add one more thing. I want to take and splatter this, because I do like to splatter. So I'm gonna smear some of that onto a stamping pad. You don't have to use a stamping pad, you can use something else. I probably could have just used the glass on my table. I'm gonna spray it. Then I'm gonna use my little splatter brush here. This one's Tim Holtz, but you don't have to use it. Just happened to be the first thing that was in the front of my paintbrush tray. And I'm going to just add splatters and try to do it without splattering everything on my work table, which tends to be what I do. Everything ends up splattered. And I want some right there and right there. See, I've got, oh, you can't see, but I just splattered all the way up. I want it right there. There we go. I think my head was in that shot, sorry. All right. And I'm noticing something where the splatters landed on the darkest ink. It's actually reacting. You see that? Is it focusing? I can't tell if it's focusing. Yes. All right, well, I think I like that technique. It was just a brainstorm that I thought, I wonder if this will work. And it works. Oh my goodness, does it work. So let me know if you're going to try this. What would you do differently? What would you add to it? What would you take away from it? But I think it turned out lovely. Thanks for joining me today. And as always, be kind. Bye.